Morning, guys. Happy Friday. Well, it'd be a happier Friday if the Seahawks weren't so bad yesterday. So that's where I got to start. Probably start and finish with them just because it's so frustrating watching that game yesterday. Ah, man, where to start? Where to start? Where to start? I guess you got to go with the opening drive because if you're going to turn the ball over, good idea to turn the ball over when you're on the other team's 1 yard line. So it's like Gino throws a pick, not happy about it, but the Niners are backed up. And then they proceed to just, Purdy was he was great yesterday. They could not put him on the ground. They got some pressure, but he manipulated the pocket and made really good throws all night long. Seahawks defense wasn't good. Um, and that was the whole basis of the game. Like that was my thought process was the Seahawks defense would hold them and they couldn't. They couldn't get off the field. And yet I still was going to get lucky and have a chance to win the game. And they let like a guy run for 90 yards. They couldn't stop the run at the point of attack for most of the night, and that they couldn't get Purdy on the ground. He manipulates the pocket. What Purdy did last night, man, he took a whole nother step because manipulating the pocket like that is a skill set that you look around the league and most people don't have it. Like when you watch it happening, it looks seamless. You know, Mahomes is obviously great at doing it, but he's running around a lot. Lamar, same thing. He's running around a lot. Manipulating the pocket, that's Tom Brady. That is the ability to go, step up a foot, step up. CJ Stroud's really good at it. It was the biggest criticism of Flacco his whole career. It's like if Flacco steps up in the pocket, man, that ball's going to come out great. But if he's on his back shoulder, or he feels that left tackle, not holding off the end, and then boom, there comes the strip sack. And Gino, not good at manipulating the pocket. Too many throws yesterday were just a little bit off. I mean, DK Metcalf was terrible. Man, is he soft? What a body he has on him, but is he soft? Can't catch the ball. And Purdy just manipulated the pocket really well, and the Niners win. So I lose, obviously, and not great. Not great. Now, not how I wanted to start the week at all. Dead right about the Chiefs on Monday, and that feels like 10 years ago because the Phillies screwed me the following day. And then, yeah, Seahawks. I don't know if they're, I mean, I'm not writing them off because it's still early in the year, but man, McDonald just, it felt like he dialed up a couple of blitzes and they just couldn't get home. And Purdy just was able to manipulate the pocket, like I said. So very frustrating, but it is what it is. We're moving on. It also didn't help that the Yankees won yesterday. That's nobody has any fun watching that. So the Yankees win, and then the Tigers fall just short to the Guardians. So we're going to have Game 5. Don't want to go backwards here about the Orioles crowd, but man, watching that Tigers crowd is something wild right before the game. Just a ton of energy. And for them to lose yesterday was heartbreaking for them. Now they got to go back to Cleveland. I don't know. It feels like they should have won that game yesterday, and they didn't. They couldn't pull it out. And now Cleveland will probably close them out, and the winner is going to get the Yankees. Oh, boy. And Dodgers Padres tonight. That should be a great game. Really looking forward to it. Dodgers haven't decided who's going to start. Most likely they'll let Yamamoto pitch a couple of innings and then just do the bullpen game again. And the Padres are going to throw Darvish out there. It's really hard to beat the Dodgers twice in a week as a starting pitcher, and that's what Darvish is going to try to do on 4 days rest. He was brilliant in game two. I don't think that'll be the case tonight. I get the over most likely and the Dodgers. So I'll look at the lineups and make that decision later. And that is that. So, yeah, I apologize if you guys followed me on the Seahawks yesterday because I clearly liked them and they fell short. So, all right, I want to talk Ravens Commanders for a few minutes, set the stage for this game on Sunday. Should be the best game of the day, at least on paper, it looks like, because, man, the Commanders are, I think the easiest way to analyze the game, if you haven't really taken a nuanced view, it's like, oh, Jaden Daniels looks like Lamar Jackson. They're kind of the same player. They're running the same offense. It should be a high scoring game. Both defenses are suspect. I don't think that's how this game's going to play out. I think there's one gigantic similarity between the Ravens and the Commanders and how they play offense, and it starts with the quarterback. But everything else after that, it's not similar at all. Kingsbury's been around forever. He's had multiple offenses that have started off really fast, and then the more film you get on it, they tend to pick up on some tendencies. So let's start with what the Commanders are doing offensively and how that's different than the Ravens. The Commanders' offense reminds me more of what the Ravens were in 2019, where Jaden Daniels is making quick reads. He's not being asked to really process the entire field at the moment. Predetermined throws, quick throws. That's why the Bengals were so confident going into that Monday night game 3 weeks ago, because it was like, man, their offense is very vanilla. He won't throw it down the field. And then similar to the Ravens in 2019, they'll take a pop shot. They'll all of a sudden they throw the ball 40, 50 yards down the field to McLaren. And Daniels has a really, really accurate deep ball arm. So his weakness is processing the field, just like any young quarterback, and then throwing the ball over the middle in tight coverage on your second or third read. And that's why the Browns were able to pick him off in the end zone last week, and just were able to make them, they bottled them up better than the previous two teams did. They just got no offense. So eventually Washington broke through. But their offense is much more here's the read, make it, let's just roll with it and get that ball quick to your playmakers, running backs, tight ends. They got Eckler, they got Ertz, they got Brian Robinson, and they seem to have two or three really solid slot receivers to go along with McLaren. So they're dynamic. The offensive line is the main thing, especially on the road. And they haven't faced the pass rush like the Ravens. The past couple of weeks, they've had the benefit of playing, Cleveland at home. So that pass rush was a little slowed down. But the other 2 weeks, Arizona and Cincinnati, two of the worst pass rushes in the league. Let's see how Jaden does with the Ravens getting in his space, with Roquan cutting off those middle routes. Speaking of Roquan, real quick, that tackle Fred Warner made on Kenneth Walker last night on that screen pass, if you didn't see it, it laid him out. Something about those big hits is like, that's what drew me to the NFL, like Jacked Up on with Tom Jackson. It was Tom Jackson and Berman. They used to do Jacked Up. That's, I don't know if the NFL is going backwards with that, but man, that was a hell of a hit. Roquan's got to make a couple of those hits on Sunday. We got to set the tone. And you have a Washington offense that, and I don't want to call them finesse, but it's a lot of yards after the catch. It's not a lot of 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It's a lot of motion. And the way you curb that is you pop them in the mouth, make them not want to come over the middle as much, see if we can put Daniels in some third and longs. But if you do not do that, if they're ahead of the sticks, we're not stopping them. I mean, this offense it's humming. It's a machine. The only way you're going to slow it down is forcing them in third and longs. If you don't do that and Washington's ahead of the sticks, I don't know how we're stopping them, especially since the way the Ravens defense has looked. They bring in Dean Pease this week. Thought that was interesting. It's always nice to have another voice, another set of eyes in there. Something's missing. I think you have to watch the film and understand the scheme to know exactly what's going on. But you don't have to be a football expert to keep watching on television and be like, all right, they have guys wide open. Why is a guy another wide open? 5 yards over the middle, wide open. 8 yards over the middle, wide open. So the middle of the field, that's not Roquan's strength. It's not really Trenton Simpson's strength. That's why he was a third-round pick, and that's why Roquan was traded from the Bears, because covering guys in the pass, that's not the huge, that's why the Bears, if you think about it, the Bears valued Montez Sweat over Roquan, and most teams do. Most teams would rather have that pass rusher. The Ravens are unique in the sense that they prioritize the middle linebacker spot, and this is a game where hopefully it pays off, because Roquan's got to patrol the middle. Simpson and Roquan have got to neutralize Jaden Daniels. So we'll see how it plays out. I don't know. I don't have a ton of confidence. I think that Commanders are rolling right now, so it wouldn't surprise me if they put up another 30 spot. On the other side, though, the Ravens offense is literally unstoppable. You cannot, if the Ravens just do the easy stuff, the hard stuff, you can't stop the Ravens. Like the hard stuff, meaning how are you going to tackle Derrick Henry in space? How are you going to tackle Lamar Jackson in space? How are you going to tackle Zay Flowers? How do you guard likely Andrews and Flowers and the run? That's the hard stuff. No team knows how to do it. They don't know how. They don't have the personnel. No team has been able to figure it out. The Ravens should have won the Super Bowl last year. They're unstoppable when they're rolling like that. Well, so how do you stop them? Why aren't they undefeated? Why don't they win every game by 30 points? And it's always on them. It's always on them because they're the better team. They're the better players. They just are. Every time they step on the field offensively, their players are better than whoever the defenders are. That's just the reality. Now, if you face a dynamic pass rush, fine. Now we got to make sure the offensive line holds up. But you try tackling Lamar Jackson all day long, it's just not going to happen. The Ravens would have beat the Chiefs last year if the Flowers didn't fumble. The Ravens offense, once they get themselves going, they're not going to be stopped. And what I'm seeing right now, and what I saw last week, um, was okay. They're having fun with the way the offense is, and that's now the rest of the league is just screwed because now it's not who has to get the ball. This guy's got to get the ball. You can see a genuine friendship with Henry and Lamar. Flowers will be a little bit of a wild card because he's got to get paid. He's got to get the ball, but they're targeting him so much that it looks like he's going to get his catches. And he impressed me last week. That was the most impressive game, I think, from Flowers' career because of the tough catches over the middle. I really appreciated his catch against the Cowboys at the end of the game. I know how dynamic he is in an open field, but I just I'm really impressed with the catches in traffic. This offense is just humming. The only way you're going to beat the Ravens is dynamic blitzes or only rushing, only rushing three and getting home a lot. You got to get lucky to beat the Ravens. The Ravens are going to roll for the rest of the season as long as they commit to running the football and just wearing teams out. They've been proving it for 5 years now that that type of offense works. The Eagles proved it the year they went to the Super Bowl. Run the football, control the time of possession, and it makes it a hell of a lot easier. You try to do the other stuff, and you want to win with Matt Stafford and Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow. That's not how you win. You win with efficient football, complementary football. It's what the Chiefs are doing. It's what the Patriots have done. And yeah, I believe that the Ravens are in prime position to just keep on rolling. And I don't think there's going to be a tremendous amount to analyze with this Ravens team until we get to the end of the year. I think they're going to finish the year with 12 wins at least. They should roll. Whether or not they get the one seed is probably up for debate, and then it'll be situational football. But this matchup here, I don't know if they're going to win by more than the 6.5 points they're giving, but I expect the Ravens to pull this out. I just do. I think last week was a moment where I was like, oh, is the luck on our side? Like, not that we need the luck, but if we're going to get a little bit lucky too, yeah, I think we're ready to go win 8-9 in a row. And hopefully that continues this weekend. I'll be interested to see what the crowd looks like, to see if there's any Commanders fans, because it's never been a rivalry. I think the last time I was mad at Washington was the year we won the Super Bowl and they had Steven Davis, the running back. And I watched that game at home, and we lost like 10-3 or something the Super Bowl year. And I hated that Washington team. But besides that, they're never relevant. So this is the first time we've played each other, I think, in a relevant way until Haloti Ngata ended RG3's career. That was a hell of a hit. So yeah, looking forward to the game. Hopefully the Ravens pull it out. I'm going to be better this weekend than I was last night. We'll have all the picks out. Clayton, Jay Mart, and I will have a college football podcast that we'll put out in the morning. And trying to think if there was anything else. I think that's about it. So yeah, sorry about the Seahawks. That's why I never tell anybody, no matter how confident I am, to just blindly follow, because if I had all the answers, and that would be a different story. But sometimes you really like the game and it just goes the wrong way. And that was yesterday. So that one stings a little bit more than some of the other ones. And that's just that. So it is what it is. Looking forward to be better. Hope everybody has a great day, and I shall see you guys Sunday morning.